the true revelation of the text, then I must properly exegete, but I really don't have time to exegete, but I got to give you just a little bit of an exegesis so that we can get a clear understanding of the text. I don't have time to give you the protext, the pretext, the context. I don't have time to give you hermeneutics. I don't have time to give you the three dispensations of biblical interpretation. I don't have time for any of that. So I just need to get to my point. I'm trying to be nice. In order for us to get the full grip or the full punch of the text, we've got to understand what a wineskin is. Right. I'm all right. I'm all right. Believe me, I'm all right. Sister Kendall, a wineskin was either a goat or a sheep. And what they did was, in order to have a wineskin, they would get a goat or a sheep, and they would kill it. After they killed it, that's where you listen. Then they would cut the legs off of the enemy. And they would cut the arms off of the enemy. And then they would cut the head off, but leave the neck. After they would cut off the leg, after they would cut off the arm, after they would cut Miriam off the leg, and after they would cut off the arm, and after they would cut off the head, then what they would do was they would turn the skin inside out and wash it. After they would wash it, then they would take a type of oil and rub it in the inside. Are you listening to me? Then they would turn it back in, therefore preserving the wineskin. Because if the wineskin becomes too hard, then when you pour the new wine in, the wineskin would break. And once it would break, the wineskin was no good. And so what they did was they preserved the wineskin. And so when they preserved the wineskin, then they were able to take fresh wine. If y'all don't want to hear me. Then they would take fresh wine and pour it into the skin. Now, why did the skin need to be fresh? Because fresh wine ferments or it moves. And, oh God, y'all are ready. And so the wineskin had to be fresh enough to be able to handle the wine. Oh, y'all ain't ready, y'all ain't ready, y'all ready. You feel like hearing this, honey, you want to go home. The wineskin had to be fresh enough so that when the new wine came in, when the new wine would shift, the wineskin could handle the shift. Somebody say hallelujah. And so when the new wine came in another way, it would ferment and shift again. But the new wine could handle the gospel. Somebody say, I have moved. Somebody say, I have moved. Somebody say, I have moved. Come here, son, come here. Get up on your fours. Stand up. Say, I am. Everybody say, I am.
I am.
That wineskin.
That wineskin.
Now God has been speaking to us. And I think what has happened in the spirit realm is that God has elevated us. You'll get that next week. Let me try that too. Let my church on the rock people. I said, what happened this week, I saw God do some things in some folks. And I think what God did was elevated us. But how many came here with a whole lot of pain? Y'all don't want to talk. Can't y'all talk back to me, California? How many of y'all came with a bunch of heartache? How many of y'all y'all came and said, look, Lord, this is my last resort. I can't come here for nothing. I need to leave here with something. Somebody said, I came to hear from God. Now, what God did to us, the first thing he did was he says, Robinson, there's something that I want to do for you. But because you've been saved for so long, you have become conditioned by what you've been in. And so that if you're not careful, when a fresh move comes, Lord, I feel revelation getting here. I got 2 more minutes. I'll finish this in California. I need to do some things. And so what God had to do was cut you off at your legs. Now, though your legs are gone, you still have your hands. If he would have cut your hands, I feel like putting it. If he would have cut your hands, you still had your legs. Somebody say hallelujah. And so then what he does, and not only does he cut your leg, but he cut your hands. Now you're useless because you're falling, but you can't get up. He cut you down. He cut your arms. He cut your leg and put you in a position that you can't move. You thought that God stopped speaking to you. No, he didn't stop speaking to you. I feel like preaching. You thought that God stopped using you. No, he did not stop using you. The level that God was dealing with you on became boring to him. I'll say it again. The way that you used to have praise and worship, the way that you used to have service, the way that you used to open up your service, the way that you used to preach became boring to God. But he knows that the only one that can stop you was God. So he cut off your legs.
Yes, Lord.
He cut off your legs. And when he cuts your legs now, it means that you have no ability to walk. He cut off your hands, which means that he is taking away your ability to work. I feel like preaching can't go anywhere. And this is what God has done for many of us. He has put us in a position, are you listening to me, so that he can deal with us. Somebody say hallelujah. Somebody say elevation. Somebody say elevation. Let me give you just a little bit of Bible. When was Abraham elevated? Abraham wasn't elevated when he was called. Abraham wasn't elevated when he took that 3-day walk. You know when Abraham got elevated? After he got ready to slay his son. And when he got ready to slay his son, that's when the voice spoke out of him. And that voice said, Abraham, you haven't even with him. Your son from me. What am I saying? Abraham did not become elevated until he went through hell. Imagine that 3-day, I feel like preaching. Imagine that 3-day walk. Imagine what's going through his mind. Imagine him thinking of his son. God, why you gonna give me this son? And then you gonna turn around and take him from me. Can you imagine him thinking about how he used to play soccer with his son? Can you imagine thinking about how he talked over the facts of life with his son? And now that you have blessed me with this handsome, strapping young man, you turn around and want me to sacrifice him. But my call is greater than my pain. Your call is greater than my heartache. Your call is greater than what you think of me. Somebody just don't have to say that.